The Galactic Confederation's flagship, Starweaver, glided silently through the inky void, its sleek hull reflecting the distant starlight. Admiral Krelthax stood on the bridge. His 4 eyes narrowed as he gazed at the blue-green orb growing larger on the main view screen. "Finally, we've reached the edge of this backwater system," he growled, mandibles clicking in irritation. "Tactical Officer Zixera, what's our status?" A lithe, purple-skinned alien tapped furiously at her console. "All systems nominal, Admiral. Our cloaking field is holding steady. The primitive sensors of this Earth haven't detected our presence." Krelthax's uppermost eyes blinked in amusement. "Excellent. And what of their defenses?" Zixera's antenna twitched as she processed the data. "Scanning now, sir. It's laughable. Their orbital stations are archaic, barely more than scrap metal. And their fleet?" She paused, double-checking her readings. "It's a hodgepodge of outdated designs, sir. Nothing that could pose a threat to even our smallest scout ships." The bridge crew erupted in chittering laughter. Admiral Krelthax allowed himself a smug grin, revealing rows of needle-sharp teeth. "As expected from such an isolated world. Prepare the invasion force. We'll dash." "Sir, incoming transmission." The communications officer, Drazkor, interrupted, his gelatinous form quivering with excitement. Krelthax whirled around, all 4 eyes wide with disbelief. "What? Impossible. They couldn't have detected us. Put it on screen now." The view screen flickered, and a face appeared, pink-skinned, with fur on top and curious round eyes. The alien spoke, its words translated in real time by the ship's advanced AI. "Greetings, visitors. This is Fleet Admiral Riven Stormbreak of the United Earth Defense Force. We've been expecting you." The bridge fell silent, shock rippling through the alien crew. Krelthax's mandibles clicked rapidly, a sign of growing unease. How did you detect our approach?" The human's lips curled into what the AI identified as a smile, though to the alien crew, it looked more like a threat display. "Let's just say we have our ways, Admiral. Now, I suggest you power down your weapons and prepare for diplomatic talks. Otherwise..." Stormbreak's eyes hardened. "You might find our laughable fleet more formidable than you anticipated." As the transmission cut, Krelthax felt a chill run down his exoskeleton. He turned to his crew, seeing his own uncertainty reflected in their alien faces. "Battle stations," he hissed. "It seems these humans might be more than they appear." Little did the Galactic Confederation know, they were about to learn a harsh lesson about underestimating humanity's resourcefulness and tenacity. The Earth's seemingly primitive fleet was merely the tip of the iceberg, concealing a level of technological advancement and strategic brilliance that would soon shake the very foundations of galactic society. As the Starweaver's crew scrambled to their positions, the vast emptiness of space seemed to hold its breath, waiting for the inevitable clash between 2 civilizations. The stage was set for a confrontation that would redefine the balance of power in the universe and prove, once and for all, that humanity was a force to be reckoned with. Admiral Krelthax's uppermost eyes narrowed as he contemplated his next move. The confidence that had fueled their journey across the stars now wavered in the face of this unexpected development. He couldn't shake the feeling that they had grossly underestimated these humans, and that realization sent a shiver of dread through his entire being. "Tactical analysis, now!" he barked, his voice echoing through the suddenly tense atmosphere of the bridge. Zixera's fingers danced across her console, her usual grace replaced by frantic urgency. "Sir, I don't understand. Our initial scans showed nothing but outdated technology, but now..." She paused, antenna twitching in confusion. "Now I'm detecting energy signatures unlike anything in our database. It's as if their entire fleet just materialized out of nowhere." Krelthax slammed a clawed hand onto his command chair. "Impossible. No species could hide an entire fleet from our sensors. Unless..." His voice trailed off as a terrifying thought crossed his mind. Could these humans possess technology far beyond their own? The communications officer, Drazkor, interrupted his spiraling thoughts. "Admiral, we're receiving a data packet from the Earth fleet. It's schematics of our own ship. How in the name of the cosmic void did they obtain this? The bridge erupted into chaos as the implications sank in. These humans hadn't just detected their approach. They had somehow managed to scan and analyze the Starweaver systems in mere moments. The technological gap that Krell had assumed existed in their favor was rapidly closing, if not already reversed. As the alien crew grappled with this shocking turn of events, little did they know that this was just the beginning. The true extent of humanity's capabilities was yet to be revealed, and the Galactic Confederation was about to learn a painful lesson about the dangers of hubris in the face of an unknown adversary. The stage was set for a confrontation that would shake the very foundations of galactic society. Humanity, long dismissed as a primitive species on a backwater planet, was about to show the universe exactly what they were capable of. And Admiral Krell, along with the entire Galactic Confederation, would soon realize that they had made a grave mistake in underestimating the ingenuity, tenacity, and sheer determination of the human race. As the Starweaver hung in space, facing an enemy they had grossly misjudged, one thing became crystal clear. The battle for Earth was about to begin, and nothing in the galaxy would ever be the same again. Admiral Krell paced the bridge of the Starweaver, his claws clicking against the polished floor. The initial shock of the humans' unexpected welcome had given way to a simmering anger. How dare these primitives challenge the might of the Galactic Confederation? Zixera, I want a full analysis of their fleet. Now, he barked, all four eyes blazing with determination. The tactical officer's fingers flew across her console. Yes, Admiral. Scanning, wait, this can't be right. Her antenna drooped in confusion. Spit it out, officer. Krell snapped. Zixera's voice trembled as she reported, Sir, the fleet. It's a mishmash of designs. Some ships look like they're held together with primitive welding techniques. Others seem to be retrofitted cargo vessels. And are those solar sails on that battlecruiser? The bridge crew exchanged bewildered glances. This fleet sounded more like a collection of space junk than a proper defense force. Drazkor, the gelatinous communications officer, bubbled with laughter. Perhaps they've cobbled together all the scrap metal in their system. Pathetic. Admiral Krell mandibles clicked thoughtfully. Don't underestimate them. That transmission earlier, there's more here than meets the eye. As if on cue, the main view screen flickered to life. Fleet Admiral Riven Stormbreak's face appeared, his expression unreadable. Greetings again, visitors. I trust you've had time to assess our defenses? There was an unmistakable hint of amusement in his voice. Krell bristled. We have, human, and I must say, I'm unimpressed. Do you truly believe this hodgepodge of outdated vessels can stand against the might of the Galactic Confederation? Stormbreak's lips curled into that unsettling smile again. Oh, Admiral, you're looking, but you're not seeing. Allow me to give you a closer look. The view screen split, showing a panoramic view of Earth's fleet. At first glance, it did indeed look laughable. Mismatched ships of various sizes and apparent capabilities hung in loose formation. Some looked like they'd fall apart at the slightest touch. But then, something extraordinary happened. One of the ships, a bulky, ungainly-looking freighter, suddenly shimmered. Its outer hull seemed to melt away, revealing a sleek, deadly warship underneath. Advanced weapon systems, previously hidden, came online with a pulse of energy that made the Starweaver's sensors scream in alarm. Krell jaw dropped. What in the name of the cosmic void? Stormbreak's grin widened. Adaptive holographic camouflage, my dear Admiral. A little trick we cooked up. You see, when you've spent millennia being overlooked by the galactic community, you learn to use that to your advantage. As they watched, more and more ships shed their disguises. What had appeared to be a ragtag fleet of junk transformed into a formidable armada of cutting-edge warships, each bristling with weapons that made the Confederation's tech look primitive in comparison. You see, Admiral, Stormbreak continued, his voice taking on a steel edge, we humans have a saying, never judge a book by its cover. Or in this case, never judge a fleet by its appearance. Krell felt a cold dread settle in his gut. They had come expecting an easy conquest, and instead found themselves facing a technological marvel beyond their comprehension. "Now then," Stormbreak's voice cut through the stunned silence on the Starweaver's bridge. "Shall we discuss the terms of your surrender? Or would you prefer a more hands-on demonstration of human ingenuity?" The alien crew looked to their admiral, fear evident in their eyes. Krelthax's mind raced. They were outgunned, outmaneuvered, and completely out of their depth. But surrender? To a species they had dismissed as primitive mere hours ago? As he weighed his options, one thing became crystal clear. They had severely underestimated humanity, and now they were about to pay the price for their arrogance. The true battle was about to begin, and the fate of the Galactic Confederation hung in the balance. Little did they know, the revelations about Earth's fleet were just the tip of the iceberg. Humanity had more surprises in store, and the universe would never be the same again. Krelthax drew himself up to his full height, all four eyes locked on Stormbreak's image. "You may have tricks, human, but we are the Galactic Confederation. We do not surrender." Stormbreak's expression hardened. "So be it. Remember, Admiral, you chose this path." As the transmission cut off, Krelthax turned to his crew. "Battle stations. Prepare for dash." His words were cut short by a blinding flash of light. The Starweaver shuddered violently, alarms blaring throughout the ship. The battle for Earth had begun, and humanity was about to show the galaxy exactly what they were capable of. The void of space erupted into a dazzling display of destructive energy as the Galactic Confederation's fleet opened fire on Earth's defenses. Beams of searing plasma and volleys of antimatter torpedoes streaked across the blackness, their deadly beauty a stark contrast to the cold calculation behind the assault. Admiral Krelthax stood rigid on the bridge of the Starweaver, his exoskeleton creaking with tension. "Full attack pattern Delta," he roared, his voice barely audible over the cacophony of battle alarms. "Show these humans the true might of our civilization." The Confederation's ships moved with practiced precision, their formations tightening as they bore down on Earth's fleet. To the aliens' surprise, the human vessels seemed to scatter, breaking formation in what appeared to be a chaotic retreat. "Ha! Look at them run!" Zixera exclaimed, her antenna quivering with excitement. Their bravado was nothing but a bluff. Krelthax's uppermost eyes narrowed suspiciously. "Don't celebrate yet. Something's not right." As if on cue, the fleeing human ships suddenly pivoted with impossible agility. What had seemed like a disorganized rout transformed into a perfectly executed pincer movement. The Earth fleet now flanked the Confederation forces on three sides, their weapons charging with an ominous hum that even the vacuum of space couldn't silence. "Evasive maneuvers," Krelthax bellowed, but it was too late. The human fleet unleashed a barrage that defied the aliens' understanding of physics. Beams of coherent light, far more powerful than any laser weaponry the Confederation possessed, lanced through space. Where they struck, Confederation ships simply ceased to exist, vaporized in brilliant flashes of expanding gas and debris. "Impossible!" Drazkor gurgled, his gelatinous form quivering with fear. "Their weapons, they're tearing through our shields like they're not even there." Krelthax watched in horror as ship after ship of his once mighty fleet winked out of existence. The humans' technology was beyond anything they had encountered in their millennia of galactic conquest. Each blast seemed to bend space itself, creating localized singularities that swallowed Confederation vessels whole. "Sir," Zixera's voice cracked with panic, "we've lost a third of the fleet already. Our weapons are barely scratching their hulls." The Admiral's mind raced. How could they have miscalculated so badly? The humans' deception ran deeper than mere holographic camouflage. Their entire technological base was light years beyond what the Confederation had believed possible. A particularly violent impact rocked the Starweaver, sending crew members sprawling across the bridge. Warning klaxons blared as systems failed across the ship. "Admiral," the damage control officer's voice was thick with dread. "Our main reactor is destabilizing. We can't take another hit like that." Krelthax felt the icy grip of defeat closing around him. In all his years of service, he had never faced an enemy so thoroughly outmatching his forces. Pride warred with survival instinct as he weighed his options. Just then, the view screen flickered to life once more. Fleet Admiral Riven Stormbreak's face appeared, his expression a mixture of determination and, was that pity? Admiral Krelthax, Stormbreak's voice was calm, a stark contrast to the chaos of battle. You've seen but a fraction of what we're capable of. Stand down now, and we can end this without further bloodshed. Krelthax's mandibles clicked furiously. You deceived us. This level of technology, it's not possible for such a young species. Stormbreak's eyes hardened. You came to our home with intentions of conquest, Admiral. Did you really expect us to lay out all our cards for you? Humanity has learned to be cautious with visitors. Another blast rocked the Starweaver, and Krelthax knew they were out of options. With a heavy heart, he gave the order he never thought he'd utter. All ships, ceasefire. Initiate surrender protocols. As the remains of the once mighty Confederation fleet powered down their weapons, a stunned silence fell over the Starweaver's bridge. They had come expecting an easy victory, and instead found themselves thoroughly outmatched by a species they had dismissed as primitive. Stormbreak's voice cut through the silence. A wise decision, Admiral. Prepare to be boarded. We have much to discuss about the future of galactic relations. As the transmission ended, Krelthax stared out at the stars, his four eyes wide with the realization of how badly they had underestimated humanity. The game had changed, and the balance of power in the galaxy had shifted irreversibly. Little did the Confederation know, the true extent of humanity's capabilities was yet to be revealed. The coming days would reshape the very fabric of galactic society, with Earth at its center. And it all started with a fleet that seemed laughable, until they discovered humanity's handiwork. The Starweaver shuddered as docking clamps engaged, signaling the arrival of Earth's representatives. Krelthax straightened his posture, preparing to face the consequences of his actions and the dawn of a new era in galactic history. As the airlock cycled open, the Admiral couldn't help but wonder. What other surprises did these humans have in store? And how would the galaxy adapt to the rise of this underestimated species? Only time would tell, but one thing was certain. The age of human dominance had begun. The airlock hissed open, and Admiral Krelthax braced himself for the arrival of the human delegation. What emerged, however, was beyond anything he could have imagined. A towering figure stepped onto the bridge of the Starweaver, its form encased in a suit of armor that seemed to shimmer and shift with every movement. It was Fleet Admiral Riven Stormbreak, but not as they had seen him on the view screen. This was Stormbreak in his full battle regalia, a testament to human engineering that left the alien crew speechless. Impressive, isn't it? Stormbreak's voice resonated through the suit's external speakers. This is but a taste of what humanity can do when pushed to innovate. Krelthax's four eyes blinked rapidly, trying to process what he was seeing. What I asked that? Stormbreak chuckled, the sound oddly metallic through the suit's audio system. This, my dear Admiral, is the culmination of centuries of human ingenuity. We call it the Nexus Armor. It's a fully integrated combat and command system, capable of interfacing directly with our fleet's AI. As if to demonstrate, holographic displays sprang to life around Stormbreak, showing real-time battle data, ship schematics, and a myriad of other information streams that Krelthax couldn't even begin to comprehend. But how? Zixera blurted out, her scientific curiosity overriding her fear. Your planet showed no signs of such advanced technology. Stormbreak turned to her, his helmet retracting to reveal a wry smile. Ah, therein lies the beauty of human innovation, my dear. We learned long ago that the best way to protect ourselves was to hide our true capabilities. He gestured, and a holographic projection filled the center of the bridge, showing Earth's history. You see, while you were busy conquering the stars, humanity was watching. We intercepted your transmissions, studied your technology, and prepared for the day when we would inevitably meet. The projection shifted, showing vast underground complexes and orbital stations hidden from view. We built in secret, always advancing, always improving. Every piece of primitive technology you saw was a carefully crafted deception. Krelthax felt a chill run down his exoskeleton. You mean to say, All of it was a lie? Not a lie, Admiral, Stormbreak corrected. A necessary precaution. We knew that one day, a force like yours would come knocking, and we wanted to be ready. The hologram changed again, this time displaying the intricate inner workings of one of Earth's ships. It was a marvel of engineering, with systems that defied the Confederation's understanding of physics. Our ships, Stormbreak explained, pride evident in his voice, are more than mere vessels. They're living, thinking entities powered by quantum AI. The scrap metal you saw? Adaptive nanomaterials capable of restructuring themselves on a molecular level. Draz Kor, the communications officer, burbled in astonishment. But that's impossible. Such technology would require centuries of dedicated research and development. Stormbreak finished for him. Yes, it did. Humanity has been preparing for this moment for a very, very long time. The revelation hit Krelthax like a physical blow. They hadn't just underestimated humanity's current capabilities. They had completely misjudged the species' potential for growth and adaptation. And now, Stormbreak continued, his tone growing serious, we find ourselves at a crossroads. Your Confederation came here with the intention of conquest, but I hope this demonstration has shown you that such a path would only lead to your destruction. Krelthax swallowed hard, his pride warring with his instinct for survival. What are your terms, human? Stormbreak's expression softened slightly. We don't seek to conquer or destroy, Admiral. Despite your intentions, we believe there's room in this galaxy for cooperation. We propose an alliance, one that could usher in a new era of peace and technological advancement for all species. The alien crew exchanged glances, a mixture of fear, awe, and cautious hope playing across their features. Krelthax straightened, meeting Stormbreak's gaze. And if we refuse? The human admiral's eyes hardened. Then you've seen but a fraction of what we're capable of. The choice, as they say, is yours. As the weight of the situation settled over the bridge, Krelthax realized that the galaxy as they knew it had changed forever. Humanity, far from being the primitive species they had dismissed, was poised to reshape the very foundations of galactic society. The next moves would determine the fate of not just the Confederation, but of countless civilizations across the stars. And at the center of it all stood humanity, a species that had turned deception into an art form and innovation into a weapon. As Krelthax prepared to make the most important decision of his life, one thing became crystal clear. The era of underestimating humanity was over. The galaxy would never be the same again. The tension on the Starweaver's bridge was palpable as Admiral Krelthax contemplated humanity's offer. The silence stretched on, broken only by the soft hum of machinery and the occasional nervous click of alien mandibles. Suddenly, alarms blared to life, startling everyone present. Zixara's fingers flew across her console, her antenna twitching frantically. Admiral, we're detecting multiple wormhole signatures. It's the Confederation's reserve fleet. Krelthax's four eyes widened in shock. What? I didn't authorize dash. Before he could finish, the view screen erupted with activity. Hundreds of Confederation warships poured out of swirling vortexes, their weapons already charging. Leading the armada was a massive dreadnought, its hull bristling with enough firepower to glass a planet. A new face appeared on the screen, Grand Admiral Vexkor, Supreme Commander of the Confederation's military. His voice boomed through the speakers, dripping with disdain. Stand aside, Krelthax. I'll show these primitive apes the true might of our civilization. Fleet Admiral Stormbreak's expression hardened, his earlier diplomacy replaced by grim determination. So be it, he said, his voice eerily calm. He turned to Krelthax. It seems your Confederation has made its choice, Admiral. Now witness ours. With a gesture, Stormbreak's Nexus armor sealed around him once more. He tapped a series of commands on a holographic interface, and the universe seemed to hold its breath. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, everything happened at once. The space around Earth rippled, as if reality itself was being torn asunder. From these distortions emerged ship after ship, each more awe-inspiring than the last. Massive battlecruisers with sleek, organic lines. carriers that seemed to phase in and out of existence. And at the center of it all, a vessel so large it dwarfed even the Confederation's dreadnought. "By the cosmic void," Krelthax whispered, his mandibles slack with shock. "What are those?" Stormbreak's voice carried a hint of pride. "That, Admiral, is the Sol Defense Grid, our real fleet." The human ships moved with impossible grace, their formations shifting like a living organism. As the Confederation forces opened fire, their plasma beams and antimatter torpedoes seemed to simply slide off advanced energy shields, leaving not even a scratch. Then, humanity struck back. The largest human vessel, a behemoth Stormbreak referred to as the Terran Vanguard, unleashed a weapon that defied comprehension. A beam of pure, concentrated energy lanced out, carving through the Confederation's dreadnought like it was made of paper. The massive ship split in two, secondary explosions rippling along its length before it erupted in a spectacular ball of fire. "Impossible!" Grand Admiral Vexcor's voice crackled over the comms, a mixture of rage and fear evident in his tone. But humanity was far from done. Smaller human vessels darted between the Confederation ships, their weapons tearing through hulls with surgical precision. Some fired what appeared to be miniature black holes, drawing in enemy vessels and crushing them into oblivion. Others unleashed swarms of nanobots that ate through alien armor like acid. From the Starweaver's bridge, Krelthax and his crew watched in stunned silence as the mighty Confederation armada was systematically dismantled. Ships that had conquered 1,000 worlds were reduced to drifting debris in a matter of minutes. Stormbreak's voice cut through the chaos. "This is but a fraction of our capabilities, Vexcor. Stand down now, or face complete annihilation." The Confederation's comm channels erupted with panic chatter. Ships began to break formation, some attempting to flee, others signaling their surrender. The great invasion force that had arrived with such confidence was now in full retreat. As the last of the Confederation vessels either surrendered or vanished into hastily opened wormholes, an eerie calm settled over the battlefield. The human fleet hung in space, untouched and unscathed, a silent testament to their overwhelming superiority. Stormbreak turned to Krelthax, his armor retracting once more. "Now then, Admiral, shall we revisit our earlier discussion about an alliance? I believe recent events have made our position quite clear." Krelthax could only nod, his worldview shattered beyond repair. In the span of a few hours, everything he thought he knew about the galaxy, about his own civilization's place in it, had been turned upside down. As the human and alien delegations prepared to begin negotiations that would reshape galactic society, one thing was abundantly clear. Humanity was no longer the underdog. They were the new power in the cosmos, and the age of human dominance had well and truly begun. The stars themselves seemed to twinkle with newfound respect for the species that had hidden in plain sight, waiting for their moment to change the course of galactic history forever. The aftermath of the battle hung heavy in the air as the human and Confederation delegations gathered in the Terran Vanguard's imposing conference room. Admiral Krelthax, along with the surviving Confederation leaders, sat across from Fleet Admiral Stormbreak and his team. The tension was palpable, a stark reminder of the power shift that had occurred in mere hours. Stormbreak, now out of his Nexus armor, leaned forward, his eyes scanning the alien faces before him. "Gentlemen," he began, his voice calm but authoritative, "I believe we've moved past the need for pretense. It's time we showed you the true extent of humanity's capabilities." With a gesture, the room darkened, and a holographic display sprang to life, filling the space between them. The aliens gasped collectively as the image of a massive structure appeared, a ring-shaped megastructure encircling a distant star. "This," Stormbreak explained, "is what we call a Dyson swarm. We've had this operational for over a century, harnessing the entire energy output of a star to power our civilization." Krelthax's mandibles clicked in disbelief. But that's impossible. Such technology would require resources beyond imagination?" Stormbreak finished for him. "Indeed, which is why we didn't limit ourselves to our solar system." The hologram shifted, showing a network of wormholes connecting various star systems. We cracked the secret of stable wormhole creation decades ago. It allowed us to expand, to gather resources across thousands of systems, all while remaining hidden from the galactic community. The alien delegation murmured in a mixture of awe and fear. One of them, a scientist named Zorlath, spoke up. But why? Why hide all of this? Stormbreak's expression turned solemn. Because, Zorlath, we learned early on that the galaxy can be a hostile place. We intercepted transmissions, observed conflicts. We saw how emerging civilizations were often conquered or destroyed. So we decided to bide our time, to build our strength in secret until we were ready to face whatever threats the universe might hold. The hologram changed again, this time showing a human brain interfacing directly with complex machinery. This is the culmination of our neurotechnology. Our citizens can link directly with our ships, our AIs, even our stellar engineering projects. We've transcended the limitations of our biology. Krelthax slumped in his seat, the weight of these revelations crushing his spirit. So all this time, we were nothing but children playing at Empire while you watched from the shadows? Stormbreak's voice softened. Not children, Admiral. Simply less prepared. But now, we stand at a crossroads. We can forge a new path together, one of cooperation and shared progress, or... He let the implication hang in the air. The Confederation representatives exchanged nervous glances, fully aware of their newfound vulnerability. Just then, an alert chimed, and a new hologram appeared. It showed a distant galaxy, unremarkable at first glance. But as they watched, pinpoints of light began to flare and die in rapid succession. What are we seeing? Krelthax asked, a sense of dread creeping into his voice. Stormbreak's face was grim. That, Admiral, is why we prepared as we did. An intergalactic threat, one that devours entire civilizations. We've been monitoring their approach for centuries. The room fell silent as the implications sank in. Humanity hadn't just been preparing to defend itself against the likes of the Confederation. They had been readying themselves for a threat on a scale that dwarfed anything the galaxy had seen before. This, Stormbreak continued, is why we offer an alliance. Not just with the Confederation, but with all spacefaring races. United, pooling our knowledge and resources, we might stand a chance against what's coming. Krelthax straightened, a new resolve burning in his 4 eyes. You would share your technology with us? Even after our attempt to conquer you? Stormbreak nodded solemnly. The coming storm leaves no room for past grudges. We need every civilization, every unique perspective, if we're to survive what's coming. As the weight of the situation settled over the room, a transformation seemed to take place. The fear and awe in the aliens' eyes began to shift, replaced by something new. Hope and a grudging respect for the species they had so gravely underestimated. Krelthax stood, drawing himself to his full height. Fleet Admiral Stormbreak, on behalf of the Galactic Confederation, I accept your offer of alliance. May our combined strengths be enough to face the trials ahead. As human and alien hands clasped in a historic handshake, the galaxy stood on the precipice of a new era. Humanity, long hidden and underestimated, had emerged not just as a force to be reckoned with, but as the potential saviors of all sentient life. The stars themselves seemed to burn brighter, as if acknowledging the dawn of this new age. An age where humanity's true power would be unleashed, not for conquest, but for the preservation of all life in the face of an unimaginable threat. The battle for the future of the galaxy had only just begun, and humanity was ready to lead the charge. The years following the historic alliance between humanity and the Galactic Confederation saw an unprecedented era of cooperation and advancement. The once vast divide between Earth and the rest of the galaxy rapidly closed as humanity shared its technological marvels, and the Confederation contributed its centuries of cosmic knowledge. On a newly constructed space station orbiting Jupiter, a neutral ground christened Nexus Concordia, representatives from thousands of worlds gathered. The station itself was a testament to human ingenuity, its vast rings spinning in perfect harmony, generating artificial gravity through principles that still mystified many alien scientists. Admiral Krelthax, now serving as the Confederation's ambassador to Earth, stood beside Fleet Admiral Stormbreak on an observation deck. They watched as ships from across the galaxy docked at the station, each bringing new delegates to the United Galactic Council. "It's breathtaking," Krellthax mused, his four eyes taking in the spectacle. "To think, just a few years ago, we were at each other's throats." Stormbreak nodded, a slight smile playing on his lips. "Indeed. It's amazing what can be accomplished when we set aside our differences and work together." Below them, in the Grand Assembly Hall, the air buzzed with excitement. Holographic displays showcased the latest joint projects, massive Dyson swarms being constructed around dying stars, wormhole networks expanding to the farthest reaches of the galaxy, and fleet upon fleet of advanced warships preparing for the coming storm. Zixera, now heading the Confederation's Science Division, approached the two leaders. "Admirals, you won't believe the latest breakthrough. By combining our psychic amplification technology with Earth's quantum entanglement theories, we've managed to establish instantaneous communication across intergalactic distances." Stormbreak's eyes widened. "Incredible. This could be the key to coordinating our defenses against the approaching threat." As if on cue, alarms blared throughout the station. The assembly hall fell silent as all eyes turned to the central holographic display. It showed the edge of the Andromeda Galaxy, where a swarm of unidentifiable objects had just emerged from the void between galaxies. "It's them," Krellthax whispered, his mandibles clicking nervously. "They're here earlier than we anticipated." Stormbreak's face hardened with resolve. He tapped his neural interface, connecting instantly with the entire United Galactic Fleet. His voice resonated not just through the station, but across millions of ships and trillions of minds throughout the Milky Way. "Attention, all forces. This is the moment we've prepared for. The intergalactic threat has arrived, but we are not unprepared. Thanks to our combined efforts, we stand ready to face this challenge. Remember, we fight not just for our individual worlds, but for the very future of life in this universe." A resounding cheer echoed through the cosmos as ships from every corner of the galaxy jumped into formation. The once disparate civilizations, united under humanity's banner, moved as one unstoppable force. As the first wave of defense fleets engaged the invaders at the galaxy's edge, something extraordinary happened. The combined might of the United Galactic Forces, powered by human ingenuity and alien wisdom, proved to be more than a match for the cosmic horror that had consumed countless galaxies before. Weapons that bent the fabric of space-time itself tore through the invaders' ranks. Shields powered by the energy of captive stars shrugged off attacks that could have vaporized planets. And at the heart of it all, human consciousness, merged with alien minds and advanced AI, coordinated the defense with impossible precision. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months. The battle raged across the stars, each side pushing the limits of technology and strategy. But slowly, inexorably, the tide began to turn. 1 year after the invasion began, Admiral Krellthax and Fleet Admiral Stormbreak once again stood on the observation deck of Nexus Concordia. This time, they watched as the last of the invading forces were corralled into a massive containment field, a prison built from the very stuff of stars. We did it," Krellthax breathed, scarcely believing his own words. "We saved the galaxy." Stormbreak nodded, his eyes reflecting the starlight. "No, my friend, we saved each other. And in doing so, we've opened up possibilities beyond our wildest dreams." As news of the victory spread, celebrations erupted across millions of worlds. Species that had once been bitter enemies now embraced as brothers in arms. The galaxy, once a place of conquest and suspicion, was transforming into a true community of civilizations. In the years that followed, this united galaxy would go on to achieve wonders that dwarfed even humanity's secret preparations. They would explore other galaxies, unlock the deepest secrets of the universe, and ensure that life, in all its beautiful diversity, would flourish for eons to come. And it all began with a fleet that seemed laughable, until they discovered humanity's handiwork. As Stormbreak and Krellthax gazed out at the star-studded expanse before them, a shared thought passed between them. The future was bright, and the best was yet to come.